Season 9 is finally here. One of the biggest quality of life changes that Sea of Thieves needed has come ashore, and while there are some amazing features, such as the addition of the cannon hit slider and the options, there are some things that weren't covered in the trailer or deep dive. Instead, they were covered in the patch notes for nosy people like me to find. So I'll be going over big changes that you didn't know in Season 9 of Sea of Thieves. Firstly, before the release of Season 9, when you scuttled your ship, you and your boat respawn on the same server, just on a different island. If you didn't want to be on that server anymore, then you would have to go through the process of going to the menu and starting up a new ship while watching that stupid loading screen. Not anymore. With the release of Season 9, not only do you have the option to scuttle your ship, but you also have the option to scuttle your ship and change seas, meaning you and your boat will respawn on a different island in a different server. This way you don't have to go through that grueling process anymore. And before Season 9, when you were getting ready to hop off, you always had such a huge stack of the tridents that you would leave to let sink with your boat because there's absolutely no use for them outside of the forts, even though you stack them anyway. But since Season 9 came around, you can finally sell the tridents to either the Sovereigns or the Order of Souls. So instead of crossing your fingers for an actual use for tridents, you can sell them to add a little bit of extra gold to that enormous loot haul you're about to sell. Now we all know about the new chest, the Chest of Everlasting Sorrow, that doesn't stop crying and filling up your boat. It sounds daunting at first because these things will fill up your boat faster than you can say, which outpost should we turn in at? But with Season 9 comes an update for that. Sunken chests will now fill up your boat at a much smaller rate than before, meaning if you're solo, you have a much easier time bucketing while managing the rest of your ship. And speaking of cursed chests, Season 9 introduced the new pirate voyage where you only dig up cursed chests like the Chest of Rage and the Chest of 1,000 Grogs. But did you know that there's a small chance that you'll dig up a Chest of Legends during that voyage? Apparently Rare considers it a cursed chest because every time you put it on your boat and leave to go do something, it disappears when you come back. Weird, right? Remember when you would go to an outpost and buy a voyage from a company, and if you buy a specific one, say the Gold Hoarder Vault, and wanted another, you'd have to either go to a new outpost or load up your game again. Rare finally changed this, and now all companies automatically refresh their voyages. This makes it way easier and less time consuming to stack the voyages you want. And not only that, but instead of stacking 3 of the same voyage that you want, you can now stack 12 voyages. This makes it so much more easier to go from one voyage to another rather than having to go back to an outpost again after using up the 3. Now you've been there. You board an enemy ship and race to lower their anchor, and when you get to their anchor, it's filled up by a bunch of crates, and you have to pick up and place down all of the crates like you're taking down Christmas tree ornaments. Now you don't have to worry about it because Season 9 removed the ability to do that. If you try and place a crate on your capstan now, it immediately will be thrown on the floor. No more worrying about trying to find the sweet spots between the crates to drop the anchor. With the addition of harpoons automatically dropping loot on your dock, it raises the question if all harpoons do that, and the answer is yes. Even the harpoon on harpoon rowboats drop the loot on the boat, which is good because that is most tedious. Have you ever tried to go to the map or go to harpoon something and instead just sit down? Or try to ladder juke but instead interact with the trinkets? Well, those days are no more because now you can turn off the interactions with sitting and trinkets so you don't have to worry about trying to decorate your boat while fighting. And since we're on the subject of updates, if you want to learn about the most controversial update in Sea of Thieves, then click on this video right here and learn all about it.